Sure, it's for you.
Okay. Hi, welcome, Capucine. Um, Here we are, and we are here to bring a message about something that we are offering, and I'm so excited about it.
Yes, welcome everybody, and we have something to present to you today. So we're creating a collaboration with Lydia. We both are energy workers. Could we say that? Energy
Yeah,
workers?
definitely. Yep.
And we're going to create magic together because we both have different gifts that could help you to discover yours and to, advance into your future with a new potential, a new knowing that this is within your hands, this is within your heart, and you could create it.
And that exact thing lights both Capucine and me up. I feel like it's both of our souls calling. So it's really, really exciting to find each other so that we can bring that. And as you know, when you have collaboration, you have two different experiences, two different people coming to be able to help in the same way. And it just adds such a great expansion. So I'm excited
To
about that.
different frequencies, yeah.
Yeah. So Capucine, what are your spiritual gifts?
All right. Well, with time, it's always developing and unfurling for me. But at the present, I'm clear sentient. I feel in my body what's happening. I also have a clear essence where I just know things from, I get connections, I get contacts, downloads, and I'm able to understand it visually as well as it's a vibration. So I just understand it within space and time, and I am able, for example, for this collaboration, to represent it visually with an aura portrait, for example.
Mm,
What about you? What are
very
your
cool.
spiritual gifts, Lydia?
I would say I have two that are the strongest. One is clairaudience, which means that I hear things. So I get messages straight in my ears. For some reason, they usually come in on the right side. Um, and and then I also have clear sentience as well. So I feel, and I use that in my energy work sessions when I'm helping people heal, because I can feel where at they have things going on in their body, and then also I hear kind of like where that's coming from. And in this session that we're going to be doing, I'm going to be using my clear audience, because I also, with that, I'm also able to hear notes. So I have something called relative pitch. And if you're not a music fanatic and you don't know what that word is, I'm going to just explain it really quickly. So relative pitch means that I always hear C in my head, and I can find all the other notes from the C note, which is la, and then basing off that one note, I'm able to, with just, I'm trying to think of the term, like relay the other notes from that. So I use that, and I have this ability to take information, whether it be someone's future or whether it be like a feeling that you want to show about someone else or whatever it is, and you have the words for that. I can take those words and I can put it into music, and take the energy of the words and put it into vibration, put it into music.
That's wonderful. We also talked with each other, and you told me something that I think people should know. But when they connect with you, they actually get your gifts as well when they connect
Mm.
with you during the
Mm-hmm.
session. And I think that would
Yes.
good
Yep.
to mention.
Yeah, that's very true. I don't mention that a lot. I think the first time I mentioned it was with you on the podcast. And it's something I've noticed because when I'm doing a session with clients, and most of these clients, I'm going to say most people have gifts, even if they're not aware of them. But most of these clients aren't, like you could say, weren't aware of their gifts, right? And when we're talking, they are able to hear, and like they hear things and they're like, oh, that's weird. I know that it's this, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting it and you're getting it. So it is something, and I feel like that is the case with a lot of healing sessions. When you're in that space, you get to experience that with the healers as well. So it's
That's
pretty cool.
wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to ask the next question?
Yes, I'd love that.
I'm so sorry. So, how do you define an aura?
Ooh, I would define an aura as the energy body. So, like, it's almost like imagine your soul, and the feelings that you're feeling, like all combined together, surrounding your body. And so, does that make sense?
It does.
What about you?
All right. It feels like it's a world. It's a world of its own. Your body is just a part of that world, but you have a dimension to yourself. It's your vital space. It's the unfurling, the kind of the definition of what the physical body is feeling. So
Mm.
it's really part of an ecosystem, you know. There's the tree, there is the river, there's the air, there's the bird on the tree. That's how it feels to me. It's a
Yes.
dimension. It's really much like those sci-fi movies where you enter another world and then you get to see the whole dimension, you know, like, oh God, wow, all right.
Yeah.
This is how
It's
it
like
feels.
one part of the whole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It feels like there's
Yes.
a rhythm also connected to it. So the way that I'm feeling clear sentience when I'm connecting to someone's aura, there is a specific, like you get with the music, there is a specific rhythm where it's almost like I understood the seasons, you know, the winter and the fall and the summer and the spring, like coming back to it and then going forward. So it's very much of an ecosystem, you know, it's just
Yeah.
science in the end.
Yes. And there's just so much that goes on there. And that's why it's so wonderful when we're able to take that and explore that space and change. So can that kind of leads to the next question. Can people change their aura?
To me, I do think that you can change it. You can actually be, you know, a witness to what's happening within your ecosystem. And then you can change it like you would be in a garden and decide to remove some, you know, weed or bad roots or something that's happening in your garden. You're able to shift it and pluck it and do whatever needs to be done. But the base of your ecosystem, if there is a specific vegetation or a specific weather that happens at this specific time, would kind of remain the same. But you're just
Mm.
there to actually tend to the garden.
Exactly. I love that analogy so much, and I would wholeheartedly agree with that. And I've witnessed that in sessions with myself, like getting healing done, and also with my clients. And so sometimes, like when seeing, like in my mind's eye, when seeing a client's energy, there might be like a space that is like open in their aura. And when that happens, like if there's something that needs to be protected, and there's something that like this space that's open, and the aura is really protecting, yourself, right? And so when there's that space there, a lot of times other things can come in and actually affect that. But by just bringing awareness in and healing that space, it can really affect the mind and the body too. um, and also, just like what you just said, by bringing awareness around areas in our life that we want to change, which actually does show in the aura, right? So, like if someone is angry, for instance, you might see that played out, you would see that played out in the aura. And so, by someone like yourself who sees auras, I don't see auras the way that you do, or feels them. You see them too, right?
It's a it's a it's a weird mix, you know. It's like I see it, but I it's from sensing it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
So,
very much
so
like,
from
all right.
sensing, yeah, from sensing that, you're able to really pick up on a lot of details. um, your session on me was incredible, and I loved it, and it was spot on with everything that you said. And when you did that session on me, you didn't know me at all, so you wouldn't have known all of the things that you talked about. And so having that gift and being able to be so specific about these different areas, and like seeing the potential for people, like these are the areas that if you were to shift this, then you would have so much more expansion and so much more growth. It's just so impactful, because then you can, then it's like it gives them the ability to take that and to pull out the weeds, and to grow the areas and to cultivate the areas where it needs to be cultivated. Yeah, it's so powerful.
Exactly. And then you can get to work with you. This is why we're collaborating. I'm kind of here to take a photo of the aura and say, this is what's going on, this is the messages, this is what could be shifted with your presence, with your awareness. And then once you actually understand all the words and all the messages, we can pick out keywords that we're going to give to Lydia as a mantra that she will then understand and compose with. And then this is when the work is done, right? Can you tell
Yeah.
us more?
Yeah, and then you're also going to be talking to them on the phone. So you're going to get to have that one-on-one session with them and really understanding exactly what it is that they, want. And sometimes also when you're just by yourself, right? And you're trying to think of like, how do I want to reframe, like, I know I want change and I know I want to grow. I want expansion, but how do I go about that? It's like there's so many different avenues and different things, and so it can be kind of overwhelming. But when you have someone who's coming in and who's able to actually read your specific energy and to say, like, these are the areas that your body, your literally like your soul is saying these areas need growth, then it's just so beautiful. And also it takes out a lot of extra time, right? Because if we were just like, oh, we should maybe focus on this or maybe focus on that, then it's like, well, but how do you know? But it's like with what you see, you're able to say, like, this is the exact thing that is going to bring the most growth. And I think for me that's so powerful. And then what I'll do is I take that, and I honestly, whenever I am improvising and composing songs for people, I don't, it's almost like I go away. Like my goal in this, I say a prayer before I start and just really ask that I could be so centered in connected to God that I am able to perfectly play out, because it's not me playing like I'm just the vessel, right? And I'm just playing out exactly what it is that the person needs in their future. So even if there's anything lacking, like with what we have written down, like we have, the basic, the most important things, but then like even all of the other little areas, like my goal in what I'm playing is just to put all of that into the song, so that when the person in the future listens to that music and is able to look at that photo of their aura, that drawing of their aura, then they're able to really like go into the energy of their future, because they're listening to the energy of the future. Because what I've done is I've taken that energy and I've put the future energy into the song, so it allows them to really bring that into the present, which is very powerful.
It is. So Lydia composed My Aura as a beautiful musical composition, and the experience of listening to it and being lost in those minutes and actually hearing myself back in music for something that's been done for me. It's bespoke. Nobody else is gonna hear it. This is for me. And music connects you to your soul. It's a spiritual experience. I was tearing up. I was feeling it in my heart. I was, you know, amazed, amazed. It was
Mm.
so precious that this moment is beautiful for you to consider and to, receive. It's a beautiful moment to receive this composition and to know that it's solely for you, and it's solely for you to experience and feel and find yourself, to be surrounded with your own energy, but in another language. It's
Mm.
so beautiful.
Aw. Um, and even cognitively, like when we are making goals for our future and we don't have something to remind us of those goals, it's so easy for us to forget about them. And when we have something that like brings us back, I can't remember. I feel like there's a word for this, Capucine, and maybe like I want to say touchstone. It's not touchstone because I looked up the word touchstone and it means something else. But it's like it kind of brings us back to what it is we're focusing on. And like some people actually use stones for that. Like they'll carry a stone in their pocket, right? And it helps them to remember, like, I'm focusing on this. But to have like a song that was made for you to be able to listen to, and it was created with the intention that it brings in that energy of your future, like that, and not only with the intention, but it does, right? And that is, to me, so powerful, because it just helps us to stay aligned as we go forward, and as things change, just helps us to remember our goals.
I have to say something from the energy. When you were speaking, I just got it. Because the music made all of my energy that is within my aura just recenter back into the heart, where I'm able to feel everything that's been around, because everything is just back with gravity imploding. It implodes, it concentrates here, and then you're able to feel, and then just explodes again and back to your aura. So it's actually energy
It's
healing
healing.
that you're doing to
Oh,
yourself.
I'm so happy. I love
Beautiful.
I love sharing this with someone who's an energy healer who feels energy the way that you do, because I feel like I feel it too. I don't always feel like I have the best articulation around what it is, but the way that you just described that is so beautiful. And I know I've experienced that with listening to music as well. Like, I think it all depends on the intention of the person who's playing and the energy that they have when they're playing it, right? And I think that like one of my gifts is being an energy healer. And because of that, I think like my soul, like that's part of my place here on the earth, is to help heal people through music.
That's incredible. I'm just going to be amazed for a while, but it really is, this recenter, this alignment back to the center, back to the heart.
Hmm.
Incredible.
Well,
Beautiful.
my business name is Abundant Heart Space. So I loved when you were explaining that alignment going into the heart and then going out. It just like, it made me really happy because it just aligns well with my name of my business. So
Great.
let's see. Do you want to ask the next question?
Yes. All right. So we talked about the future and the present, but do you want to develop, like, how do you use music as a way of bringing someone's future into the present? How do we do this quantum leap?
Yes. Um, so when it comes to like getting to that energy of the future, it's really important that you have the feelings, right? Because you could say like, I want to manifest $2,000 next month, right? But just simply by saying that, you're not going to manifest that money. A lot of the the way that you manifest something in real life is by actually getting into that energy of that something that you're doing. So what do I mean by the energy? Really what I mean is the feelings. So how would you feel if you had $2,000? Like how would it change your life, right? And so by actually exploring that and able to pinpoint and articulate exactly what it is, like the feelings that are going to change, and then to be able to go into those feelings in your present, that's how you manifest. So what music does is, um, I am taking the feelings of your future and putting them into music. And we all know, like everyone knows that when you listen to music, you feel a certain way. It's just how it is. Music does that. It's very powerful in that way. So I'm actually bringing that into the song. I'm bringing your future feelings into the song, which then allows you, when you're meditating, you can listen to that and you can really feel the way you would be feeling in the future. And I have coffee. I'm going to set my coffee down because I want to use my hands. So by like, okay, so like let's say your energy's here and your future energy's here, and the song energy is up here because it's just the feeling of the energy, right? So by listening to that song, it's actually going to raise your vibration up, so then you're going to be a perfect match for your future energy.
And it's exactly what we talked about with the ears before. Did you
Yeah,
understand? Do you remember that?
yeah,
Exactly.
I
It's
know.
beautiful.
I literally do that during the day, and then you were telling me earlier before we started the podcast about that, and I'm like, oh, how did you know?
All right. It's beautiful because with me, it's the time and space. I don't really work with the future. I'm really much into the past and the present. So when I
Mm,
work with you, for example, when I do an aura portrait, I'm hearing voices from you when you were 5 years old, or I'm hearing a feeling from the past, like how you felt about a specific situation that is actually a part of your present right now. So I'm kind of exploring the past and I'm in the present because in your present, the past is here and then
mm,
it will help to thread the future. So when I'm there, I'm in the season, and for example, I know it's spring. I understand your aura is in the spring, and I understand what we've, given up during the winter. So everything is just there, and then I make the threads, and I connect you to the past, being like, did you know that you are still affected by what happened 10 years ago? This comes up every time, every morning when you wake up. You think about this, thinking it's about this present situation, your colleague or this guy in the metro, but it's actually a reminder of the root of the problem, which was when you were 5, your dad did this and your mom said that, and this is still playing out here. So with me, it's kind of like we're cleaning. We're just like making space, and then we set up the words, we recite a mantra, and then we send it to Lydia, who can raise up to the future. So it's
I love
Interesting.
that. I love how you describe that, in that like you have past, present, and then I'm present, future. So we have that present, which honestly is the most important thing for us to focus on right now. So we have two we're both overlapping there, right? Which is good. Yeah.
It's exactly again what we said, past,
Yep.
future, and then it meets in the present.
Yeah.
And I have something else that I want to say about clear sentience, but when I connect with people, and I said we all, for example, we implode and we go back to the center, I feel like we all have a specific light, a gravity point light. And the way that light moves within the ecosystem shows me how you're experiencing life. So if someone is like flickering, it could be joy, excitement, but also stress. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel that with people. So usually that light forms a symbol. And that's what I will draw on the portrait. Like it just gives me the way it's going to move, it's going to rotate, and there's the just do, for example, this back and forth. And I'm going to draw it and I'm going to show you this could be your essence or it could be the present moment. I always know when it's your
One
essence,
or the
your
other. Yep.
motion, like each planet moves in a certain way. But that is also a sigil. It's like back to your essence. And we could get to understand, what's happening. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a
I
cat
love
who wants to be a part of this podcast.
that. Hello, cat.
Yeah, he
Welcome.
might climb. We'll see.
Mhm. Okay, so I'm going to ask another question. Well, let's see. You have already answered this. How do you specifically pick up on auras?
Yes.
Now, how do I pick up on auras? I feel them. I definitely feel, and I want to explain something to people, because some people who are listening to this are like, I've never felt an aura, but I actually would say you probably have. In some, whatever your gift is, you've probably sensed it, felt it, or known it to be there. You just didn't know what it was that was coming through. Because I want to explain my experience when I first learned about auras. And so this is at a time in my life where I literally felt everything from other people. And you're about to find out why. Because when I went into this session with this energy healer, she told me, she's like, whoa, girl. She said, your aura is literally filling up this room. Well, when that happens, when your aura is expanded so far out, you are picking up on whatever energy you come into. So, like, for instance, I was in the room with her. So I was picking up on everything she was feeling, and I could feel everything she was feeling as if it was me, right? And so then she's like, look, I'm going to teach you how to bring your aura in. So she did. And I did it in my mind. I brought my aura in and I felt it. I also hear, so like for instance, I can hear what color someone's aura is. I don't see it in my mind's eye, but I hear it. So I brought my aura in, and then she said, we're going to experiment together just to see if you, like how well you can control your aura, because it's something that needs practice. So she stood up and she said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to randomly push my aura out, and you have to tell me when you feel it. Okay. So, and she was just talking to me. She said, I'm not going to tell you when, because I want to make sure you're actually doing this, and not just randomly guessing. Right. So every single time she'd push it out, I'd feel it and I'd be like, oh, there's like a slight energy change. And then we'd trade, and I'd do it for her and then she'd do it for me. And what the coolest thing is it was at that point in my life that I learned the difference between how my energy field and my aura felt versus other people. And that has been such a big shift in my life, because I've been able to live my own life. Like, I remember walking out from there, going to Whole Foods, and my whole life, anytime I go into a store, feeling everything, it's just kind of overwhelming, honestly. Like, it's like I don't have autism, but like I remember listening to people explain how people with autism feel, like just being that like overwhelming feeling. And I just remember thinking, wow, I feel that way too. Like, but this is when everything changed for me, because all of a sudden I could feel my own feelings, right? And it was sort of just this like aha moment of like, I have been walking around my whole life feeling everyone's feelings, and now I get to just experience my feeling, and I can choose to feel other people, but I don't have to all the time, right? And so now that's something that I teach clients about, the technique of bringing in their aura and being able to sense their aura. But if you've ever, like, all of a sudden sensed someone walking in the room, that feeling is because you're sensing their aura.
That's incredible. That's so good. The way when I'm working with other people now, I actually just discern when their words or their actions are based on them and not me. So I finally got kind of the lesson that you got, but in another shape. But it
Mm-hmm.
has freed me because now I'm able to sing my song. I'm able to shine my aura instead of feeling everybody inside of my space. And it changes your life because people are kind of feeling it as well. So everybody's looking around, everybody looks at you, everybody connects with you in the eye because your aura is also shining and you feel it before they come. Which could be, it depends on the emotion that you carry. So it could be a problem when you're feeling people's bad emotions. But when you are joyful, and you're just walking in the street and sharing that joy. It's a beautiful way to, in a way, be an activist. You're here
Yeah.
and you're shifting
Yep.
people's mood in a
You're
minute.
literally changing their life. And
Hmm.
they have no idea, which to me is the most beautiful thing.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful. It's
it
so
is.
nice. And what I want to say with this work, if you do come and work with us and do an aura resonance session with us, your aura is being felt by people all the time. You're not impermeable. People are feeling you. So, is there a way that we could really help you change your life by, considering the fact that your aura is impacting people around you? And it's maybe changing your luck, maybe changing your life experience because of that. So, how well can your life change when you're actually shifting your aura?
Yeah, it's
How
being
beautiful can it
intentional.
blossom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're anything like me, I'm someone who's very motivated by helping other people. So remember exactly what Capucine just said, in that when we change and when we grow, it's going to affect everyone around us. And like, your aura is your energy field. So if you have found that people recently have been like a little bit like around you, it could be because there's something in your energy that something going on that needs to be cleared off. And when that is cleared, you're going to be vibrant. And when you're vibrant, it's going to make everyone around you feel that too.
And life is exciting. You
It
are
is.
amused at life, you are laughing, you are joyful. You
Your
have that
sun.
choice, you know? You have the choice to radiate joy and to actually feel it in your heart and just have a lot of good days and receive love from people as well because the people that you meet in the shop or you meet in the street or in the metro are going to connect with you. You're going to look for each other's soul throughout your eyes. You're going to feel that love. Like how
Yeah.
how great is that? That's
It's
just
so
life.
beautiful. To add to that, I want to say something else. Like, we talked about being like an energetic match. So if you are in a place where you're feeling like lower, and you know there's more to life, and you know that you're looking for sunshine, and you're wondering why you're not attracting friends that you want to be attracting. So you're not going to bring you're not going to manifest anything that you like energetically or not, right? So in order to have those friends that you're looking for, in order to be happy, you have to actually bring in the feelings first,
Mhm.
and you have to actually be that friend first. And so to make that transition, this session where we kind of, Capucine is able to really figure out and pinpoint the areas that you could benefit from the most, um, like clearing, processing, letting go, change, and then having this mantra that is made just for you is very impactful, because it will then allow you to go into that energy, and then allow you to start manifesting the people that you are looking for, because you're going to become that person, you're going to become that friend that you wanted to be. And I don't know why that needed to come through, but I just heard like there's someone who is really looking for friends, and they're wondering why they're not finding those friends. And it's because first you need to become that friend, and first you need to become that friend to yourself. Oh, I'm sorry, I just realized that my I just hit my speaker. Hopefully that wasn't too loud.
It's okay, don't worry. But also, I want to say that you could, even if you were manifesting the friends, If you receive them and you are not ready for it, then you're not going to have a good experience. You're just going to, maybe feel threatened or maybe feel out of place. Whereas when you actually connect to the frequency, wherever if you're working with us or not, but if you're able to feel the frequency and just really feel the fact, like prepare yourself for what's happening, then when it happens, it's just joy. And it's not like a bad experience of receiving exactly what you wanted, but you're not ready to receive it because you didn't do the work.
Exactly. That. I love that. Yes. So true.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Next question.
go ahead. You can ask.
Who would benefit from an aura resonance session?
Ooh, anyone who is open to growth and expansion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's an easy answer and an easy question as well. Yeah, it's
It's
simple.
just such a forward boost for people because this work that they could spend years on, with the gifts that we have been given, because this is our place, right? We're able to provide them with something and help them shift energetically, which when you shift energetically, you're able to save years of time. Like it's just such an instant shift, right? And so if you are in a place where you're ready for expansion, this session is for you.
And also, because we're always basked within our own energy, it's difficult to have clarity. This is why even I, as a energy worker, as a clear sentient person, I am going every month to someone who
Mm.
has those kind of gifts so that they can understand my thing, because I'm within my energy. So whatever is happening within my ecosystem, I don't see something specific. I need to go to someone else to get to understand what's
Yes.
happening. So with you, I mean with us, it's also really good because we're able to just directly have a snapshot. It's so easy. We understand the puzzle is super clear in a second.
Yep.
Whereas even for me, I would have trouble understanding for myself. I mean, I tried to do my aura portrait and it was not the most accurate thing in the world. But when I'm with someone, directly I see in my ears everything that's happening.
Isn't
So,
that so interesting? I've heard that from every single healer. I'm the same way. And I am so thankful we're this way because it's like this, it's sort of, it's not a defect. It was definitely intentional that we are designed this way, because connection is so important, right? And this forces us to connect. Because can you imagine if we didn't need other help from other people and we could just like totally do it alone? Like
mhm.
that would, it could be such a sad life because then there would be no need for connection. But this is so important. It's important for everyone. And I love this analogy. Like, I feel like everyone understands exactly what you mean. And I'm just going to put one more analogy on top of that, of like watching a movie. And when you're watching this movie and you're like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Because you know what's going to happen. You can see everything so clearly. And you're just like, how could they be so stupid? And they're going in and they're going into, I don't know, the lion's cage or whatever. And you're like, they're about to die. But um, in life, we have those same experiences. Like in our own energy, we need help outside of ourselves. And it's a beautiful thing, really.
It's exactly what happened when we first connected. So we connected together because we exchanged services. So Lydia works with divine love energy and angels, and I work with Reiki. And she gave me a session. And it was very interesting because when I do a session, I scan my aura and I understand things. And within a scanner, with that analogy, a scanner has a specific rays and will scan and see things. And she saw things with a different ray. So she saw things that I will never see, and she saw things and she helped me shift things that even if I have the ability, I just never saw that within me. So I couldn't heal it. And when I'm scanning Lydia, I don't know if you have this experience, but what I'm hearing, I don't know if you heard it when you did it to yourself.
Oh no, yeah, you definitely were able to help and pinpoint things in my body that I like. As soon as I heard them, I'm like, yes, this is true. Like I do need to work on this. These are all areas that I need to process and let go. And it was very much like, yes, every single. There wasn't one single thing that I was like, I don't know about that, but it was like every single thing was like, yep, that's true. And they were areas that I feel like I needed help outside of myself in order to bring that
Mm-hmm.
up to light.
Yeah. we don't have the tools. We don't have all the tools. Like she has those tools and I have my tools, and then we complete each other. But
Yeah.
we can't have like all the tools, otherwise we're God, you
By the
know?
way, I just like got the goosebumps when you said that, like the truth bumps, I call
That's so good. Oh,
them. Okay, so we already have talked about how the Aura Resonant session gives tools of self healing and self manifesting to the client. Is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
it helps you it helps you to feel what you're not always ready to feel. So it's not only about healing, but it's about assessing the fact that your inner child, your inner self, is aware of everything at the same time. Like we know our brain is capturing everything that's happening in the street, but we would be overwhelmed if we actually understood everything. So that's why we only see a certain amount of rays, or we hear only a certain frequency, because otherwise we would be overwhelmed. So that's the same with an aura or with our emotions. Only what is being, ready to be handled is available to us at that time. And after doing years of inner self healing, there are still things that I cannot see because I don't have the tools to do it.
Mm.
So, with, for example, our work, we have tools and we have a way to give it to you in a way that doesn't shock you. We're not going
Yes.
to talk about traumatic things that you're not ready to handle. We're not going to tell you about your imminent death. No, no, it's not happening. We're here to welcome you into a comfort zone where you can be cocooned and safe and analyze yourself and see yourself with all this beautiful light, and then decide what you're going to bring into your future and have this beautiful, it's like a spa day for your aura. It's
Yeah.
that's that. It's just nice and comforting, and we're not going to try to open your eyes to the horrible
Right.
things that happen to
No,
you in your life,
no,
you
no,
know?
no, no, no.
It's
Yeah.
just care.
And yes. And I loved what you said about like there are certain things that our body, our mind, our soul is not ready for yet. And so that's something that I've learned recently because when I first started doing energy work, I think I've always known it. It's just that in these sessions with clients, when I first started, I didn't have something that I would pray beforehand to make sure that I only took off a certain amount of energy off them, right? So I would clear. We would do the session. They'd leave, and they'd say for like sometimes it one client it took a whole week for them to get back to their regular energy, right? So they were like laying in bed. They were low energy for a whole, and then they were great right after that, but it was like they had a healing crisis, and I don't want to send people to a healing crisis. Like that's not what I want to do. And so I realized this. I'm like, oh no, like this is not good. And so, and I have another energy healer friend, and she was kind of going through the same process. And she told me, she's like, Lydia, I think we should start praying that, like before doing a session on every single client that we do a session on, that only that which their body requests be taken off. And so I started doing that. And now in my sessions, and I can tell that you're also very attentive in this as well. So this is something that's intentional, that only that which you are ready for will be brought up. And that's it. And it's so interesting because since shifting that, there's been a shift in my clients, and now they don't have that problem.
That's so interesting because I had this and I started saying before every one of my session, in perfect comfort, in perfect alignment, because it was very shocking. People were just, releasing, 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 catching a cold or, shaking for a few days. And I started saying this, but it doesn't mean that my clients don't have this. It just means that their experience of this is different. So now they're not having a bad moment, but they actually choose to have
Yep.
this. I always ask people to say, do you trust me? Do you trust me, Capucine, to do this for you? And then wait to see what's the answer coming from the body. And then
Mm.
it's a specific choice. The body knows that it can release what needs to be released. And even if it's a little bit spectacular, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to be a bad experience. People know that,
Yeah.
oh, it's actually giving me 2 days to just be in my bed and
Yep.
finally settle down and rest and finally, it's a choice.
Yep. It's a choice. Exactly. That's so important. And every time that I do an energy work session on a client, before connecting to their energy, I always ask. And that is something I think that is so important, is just that permission.
And trust
So,
also.
oh, yes. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there. What message would you want to bring to the person who comes in contact with the work of yours?
Ooh. What do I want to say? Well, for me, it feels like I don't want to sound like it's a arrogant kind of word, but it does feel like it's magic. Like this is something that is a very beautiful, unique experience. And not only because of what I do, but also mostly because of what you do. I think this is a beautiful chance. It's a chance. It's not, oh, you have to pay for something. This is kind of an opportunity. This is a
It's an
treasure.
opportunity. Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
opportunity. So I think I would say you have such a beautiful place to fill on the earth. And wherever you're at in your journey, you can change your reality. You can expand, you can become the person that you're meant to be. There's a reason that you have this dream in your heart. Like God has put it there. It's not something that's like, oh, I shouldn't be thinking this. This could never happen. Like, no, it can happen. It's your choice. You just have to be open to it. And you're the only person who can make it happen. So bringing in this awareness, this willingness for change, for growth, for expansion, and reach out. Capucine and I would absolutely love to help you in this journey of expansion.
And we're also giving back power with this. We're not
Yes.
doing energy healing on you. We're actually letting you do the work by
Yeah.
making a conscious piece of every decision, of every word within the mantra, of everything is being made by you in the end. We're just listening. We're just being aware of what's happening within you. So you are actually becoming attuned to your energy and being a master of your own energy. And then you get to decide every day if you want to listen to this and, go back to it and do it again, because this is every time you listen, every time you look at your aura portrait, you get to renew the clearing, the healing, the consciousness, the being present with it. So you get to become your own energy master, healer. So yeah.
Yeah. I was just about to say that, and you beat me to it. You get to become your own healer. And how cool is that? And how amazing is that? And that's how it should be. Like, even in all of my sessions, my goal is always to be able to give the clients their own tools. And that is why I absolutely love this new session that we're offering, because it really allows clients to have their own tools of healing, and they can go forward, and it's so much more powerful and motivating when you're the one who's doing the work.
Exactly.
It's sort of like someone winning the lottery versus someone working hard and making the money, right? Um, it's like when you're putting in that work and you are making that time and that effort every single day, and you're bringing your energy up and you're elevating that so that you can become that energetic match, and then you meet your future in your present, and it's because of you and your work, and then you can it's just such a fulfilling place once you get there, like once you meet your future. And even, I don't want to say that. I want to go back, because it's such a fulfilling place when you're putting in the work. Not necessarily like I finally achieved, because once you've reached one goal, you're going to probably set another one. That's just how life is. Like we never fully arrive, right? You're just always growing and expanding. It's the process of growing and expanding that's so
Mm-hmm.
fulfilling, because when you're sitting there and you're in this space and you haven't grown in that space, it can be a very lonely place. And it's when you start to make steps and grow that your soul starts to just flourish.
Yes. And I also want to say that this is not like it's not work, where you have to work a long time to get your money's worth, but it's more like you bought a seed and it grew into a lemon tree, and you finally get your first lemon after a year. Whereas you could just buy the lemon tree and then put it inside of your garden and then just look at the lemon and know that you bought it, it was already grown, you know? This
Mm.
is different. This is more like you actually planted the seed and you sow every day, every month. Every morning you woke up, you drink your coffee and you look at your tree growing in the garden. And then you finally have that first lemon and you just squeeze it and you taste it and you're like, ooh, I'm part
Yeah.
of this, you know?
Yeah.
It's,
And
yeah.
even just that whole process of watching that grow, like putting a seed in the ground and then watching it grow, it's something that is so beautiful, and it you can't even really compare it to just buying a tree and like saying, "Oh,
Exactly.
there's the tree," because you've
Mhm.
put so much effort into that tree. And if something were to happen to that tree after you've put so much effort into it, like think about your heart. I always like to think about like what we lose and then kind of going back, and it helps us to be so thankful for what we have, right? And it's the same way. So like when you're putting in the effort yourself, you're going to value and appreciate it to such a different level. And this is your life,
Mhm.
so it's
Yeah,
the most important thing.
that's beautiful. I'm going to ask the next question.
Okay.
What are three words that would describe how a client feels after an aura resonance session?
Mm. Clarity, expansion, and fulfillment.
That's beautiful.
Because when after the session, you're going to have a lot of clarity around where you need to focus on and what your goals are in your future. And this experience is very expansive. And as you continue to cultivate that seed, we're just going to continue with this analogy, and you continue to water that seed and you watch it grow. It's it's very expansive, and it's also very fulfilling, because what it allows you to do is you're starting to step into that energy of who you were meant to be. And when you can do that, and when that aura changes from wherever you are at to this like blooming and happy and vibrant being who you are, and you're actually accessing that now, it's such a fulfilling place, because it affects everyone that you're around. It's not just affecting you, but it's affecting everyone that comes anywhere near your aura. And so then you start helping the world in such a different and such a bigger way, and it's so fulfilling.
Beautiful. I love this. I have three different words for me. I have connection because we're getting all of this together. It's really connected back into the gravity point, all of your energy within here. And then you have faith, faith in yourself, faith in your guides because I'm going to be translating those messages. And then trust because your word, your work is going into the future. So you trust, you belong to that path. You will put yourself through every step of the way. So trusting in you and faith into the world and also connection with you, with your guides, with the work, with the world. That's my
Mm.
words. Yeah.
I love those. Another word just came in, and I know we were only supposed to do three, but alignment.
Yes, exactly. I'm writing it down. It's beautiful. We
Awesome.
called it aura resonance because resonance is really much connected to music. The idea of a seed that has a resonance, you know, it's something that says someone, sorry, a person who says something within a room and that it resonates. The sound it propagates. So it's like a seed that just does that to your aura. So it's alignment that becomes a series of waves that touch the world around you, but also touch you within all the spheres of your life.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah,
I'm happy about this.
I am so excited. Yes.
Thank you so much, Lydia, for doing this with me.
Thank you, Capucine. I've really enjoyed this time talking about this, and I'm so excited for this journey to get to help people.
Yes, all of you come to us. I just want to one last time explain that we're going to offer this service on both our sites. So you can book with whoever, but that means that you're going to receive both of our work. And what happens is that I'm going to contact with you. I'm going to connect with you, and we're going to be on the phone together for a series of minutes where I'm going to pick up on your messages and I'm going to draw your aura. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. That could be an interesting an interesting thing. So together we'll be on the phone, we'll be assessing the present, the future, you know, what is happening around you. And we're going to decide on a few keywords that after the phone call, you're going to expand into a mantra. So you're going to record yourself in a mantra that you're going to send to Lydia. And after that, your turn, Lydia.
Yes. And so I'm going to take that mantra and I am going to, before I do the piano song, I'm going to take time to just meditate, pray, connect. And I'm going to take the mantra while listening to it. I'm going to be composing a song specific to you. And I'm going to be putting the energy of the mantra into the music that I'm playing out. And I'm going to take that MP3 and I'm going to send you two MP3s. I'm going to send you one where it's just the piano music. And then I'm going to send you a second one where it's your speaking your mantra over top of the piano music. And that's very powerful because you have the energy of the music of your future that you're listening to, and you have your mantra. And the way that I'm playing the music, it's going to perfectly align with the words that you're saying as well. So it's specifically designed for you. And I will send both of those to you as well.
And what I want to say is that for this is an example of an aura portrait, which will have your name, symbols, and words within the body of the aura, words, the keywords that we selected together. And from the neuroscience aspect of it, when you listen to a mantra that is within your own voice, and either you sleep or you meditate with it, this is going to touch your nervous system in ways that are going to actually make your magic happen. It's going to create those neurons that believe within your subconscious that you are able to do this. You actually have this already in your present. And this is going to align the world's frequency with your subconscious that now believes in it, and then it's going to happen to you. So we're actually helping you to manifest throughout
Yes.
using your own resonance, your own voice resonating within your ears. So that's it. It works in spiritual ways, social ways, physical, scientific ways. So we're kind of touching with everything, whether it's an angel or an algorithm, you know, it just works.
Yes, it does. It's such a beautiful work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Capucine.
Should I cut?
Yes.
Okay.